Hey everybody, Brendan Ecker here, Michigan real estate agent, and today we're going to watch a little entertaining clip from The Sopranos. I know, controversial. Tony Soprano wasn't perfect. He was a mafioso, whatever. But at the end of the day, he was a real estate guy. And you can learn a lot about real estate from Tony, and especially Carmela, as she was pretty smart too. And we're going to learn that in this scene. We're going to talk about trusts, Dynasty trusts, and what they're talking about with portfolios. And I'm going to just kind of do some commentary on it as we watch here. So let's see what we got.
Talking about some simple estate planning, Tony, that's all. My cousin, Brian Camerata, has helped lots of people set up trusts for their kids, begin asset allocation.
I gotta spell this out for you. I can't declare X amount of my income.
Your consulting fees from Barone Sanitation, you do. We file a tax return to justify the house, the cars. We could be putting aside some of that to start a portfolio.
Stocks? You gotta be high up in the corporate structure to make...
So what they're talking about right here, Carmela wants to start a portfolio because obviously Tony Soprano, being a mafioso, he can't declare his income because obviously it would show that what he's doing is illegal, and it would probably violate the RICO laws, and that's how you would get caught back then, especially when the FBI would be investigating these things. But the point of this video is that Carmelo is talking about conversations Americans should have every day pertaining to real estate or just generational wealth. If you care about wealth, you should be talking about trusts and having a portfolio and diversification. And that's what she's talking about. She's saying, Tony, we shouldn't just have money underneath the mattress. We shouldn't just have money in your real estate deals that are illegal, or as far as I know, I don't even know what you're doing. And we'll see that. She'll state that in a second. But she just said that she wants to diversify. And so this is a conversation every American family, lots of American families have every single day, and you should be having with your spouses. And this is how you can get into, really generational wealth, is by doing some of the things they're talking about. Both of them are right on some level. So let's watch a little bit further.
We don't have those Enron type connections.
Bonds, then. There are these things called REITs that Brian told me about.
Bonds. Where's the capital for that?
So now Carmela is essentially talking about bonds and REITs. What is a REIT? A REIT is a real estate investment trust. And a real estate investment trust is essentially not owning physical land, but you're investing in the stock market. You're investing in the essentially your hypothesis that the real estate market will go up. And basically it's just like an ETF that you can get on Vanguard, right? And the ticker for Vanguard, for example, for that exchange, if you want to invest in real estate investment trusts, you would type in the little ticker O in Vanguard, and you'd have the real estate investment trust option. And you'd be able to invest in that, and you can earn a passive income, and it would be legal, and it would be through a structure that you could use to borrow against. You could borrow against that to buy real estate later and other things, and essentially just build generational wealth and earn a yield on the income that Tony's earning, rather than turning that into, just a mattress money or just something that could be taken by the feds, as they like to call it, the FBI, who in the show, The Sopranos, is always investigating Tony. So let's keep watching.
In the Caymans, or under the mattress, or wherever you put it at zero growth.
The money stays where it is. With what's going on in the world today,
There's always some excuse.
there's no cash in this house. Not since the last bust. Check the beds. And I provide for my children.
Yes, Tony, you do. But I don't know how you do it because you won't tell me.
And so that's a real problem too. So, I'm not trying to be nosy, but everybody should really know what your spouse is doing and how they're making money. And what you're doing should be legal. And let's make that very clear, is that I'm not trying to glorify Tony's, the way he makes money. What we're talking about here is real estate. Okay, because in the show, The Sopranos, we'll find that Tony Soprano is often talking about actually pretty complicated real estate deals. And that's very good content for people to learn, because I don't think we talk about it enough on how much you can actually learn from this show on real estate. Again, not doing it the way they do it, but just the vocabulary even, and understanding these real life conversations. And that was why this show was so famous. It was because it was just very relatable. So know what your spouse is doing and how they're making money. So Carmela, I don't know, just don't be an accomplice.
Well, let me tell you something. Or you can watch the news. Everything comes to an end.
And that's very true. Everything does come to an end, and that is why you need to think in terms of diversification, generational wealth. If you want to keep your wealth, you have to understand that you can always lose your wealth at any time. You can always lose your wealth. Absolutely, you can always lose your wealth. If you're not careful about how you're, strategically trying to grow your family's, your dynasty, and you need to do that through trusts. And so, you need to understand that money is a system that flows to the person who pays the most attention to it. And so in order for you to make more money in your family, to feed your grandchildren, okay, think for more than yourself. Think for more than what you want in your life or what you need in your life. Start thinking about your grandchildren, because they're going to blame you if you don't be exceptional and, legally, not like Tony Soprano, but legally learn how to make a good living. And if you can do this through real estate, but also diversification, right? Learning about real estate investment trusts and things like bonds, tax-free Muni bonds, okay? On Vanguard, that's something also you can invest in. And these things it's just like the S&P 500, okay? Which is an index for the top 10 companies in America or the world or something like that. So you need to learn how to diversify. You have to be able to really just be educated and don't lose your money. At any current time, you could get cancer. At any time in your life, somebody could die. Some form of money could be lost. Whatever. You lose your job that's really high paying, then you're poor. You're on the streets. And if you don't have multiple streams of income, and if you're not diversified, then you're almost guaranteed to lose that wealth at some point, because you're not making the money work for you. You're working to make money, and you can't think like that. Okay. So I'm a luxury real estate agent, and I talk a lot about real estate, these kind of things and complicated conversations that, families have every single day, but also the wealthy and the affluent and people who have complicated ventures or, whatever, just people who are just trying to build their American dream. And so at the end of the day, my goal is to educate others on, legal and lawful ways of investing in real estate, becoming interested in real estate, because it's a great way to build the American economy. And I want people to, have a great life. And I think real estate is the best way to do that. Real estate is tried and true. Okay, real estate is tried and true. It's been proven to work. Okay, you own farmland, guess what? You can have 10 kids and those kids can run that land. And guess what? You can sell the chickens or you can eat the chickens. You can sell the wheat or you can eat the wheat. Your lifestyle is there. You got your roosters to wake you up in the morning. Who needs an alarm clock then? You got your sunsets to look at. Who needs a television, right? And it's really comes down to this lifestyle of self-sustainability and what's gonna give you the most freedom in your life. That's what I care about. Brendan Scott Ecker. I don't care about getting rich. I like luxury because, one, it's a challenge for me and it's just fun. I don't overthink it. Money's not something I overthink, because what I think about is, how can I help people that are interested in similar things? I'm interested in luxury. I just like luxury real estate. I find it beautiful. I like being a part of it. This is why I got certified to sell luxury real estate as a sales partner. This is why I got my license in real estate. I'm passionate about this stuff. So, okay, let me help you guys out. And hopefully you learned something from this little commentary on Tony Soprano. And at the end of the day, just stay prudent, stay powerful, and stay wealthy, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you got a good education.